this is going to be quick, but I'll address it because I think it's worth addressing.
A freaking IKEA chair.
All right, folks. Recently, I put out a tweet, a fairly innocuous tweet, because I thought it would be funny. And I thought, well, just sort of popped into my head. We've sort of spent the last couple years seeing things like the Force is female and the future is female. And guess what? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with those. Nothing wrong with having a Force is female t-shirt. There's nothing wrong with tweeting that and being proud. And I have been witness, having gone to San Diego Comic-Con since the 90s, of seeing what is effectively an all-male Comic-Con grow into an event that's 50-50 male-female. Seriously, if you saw a woman walking around Comic-Con in the early 90s, she either worked at one of the booths as a booth babe, she was a cosplayer, but it was like a spotting of Bigfoot. You didn't see a lot of women at San Diego Comic-Con. And one of the great things about the Marvel Cinematic Universe is the way that it has made female fans of Marvel. Why do women love Marvel so much? Probably because it's basically a Chippendales show with beefcake. You're going to hear many women say, when Chris Evans emerged from the capsule, all chatted out as Captain America, they might have felt something a little down below. When Chris Hemsworth took his shirt off as Thor, they might have gotten a little butterflies in their stomach. And when Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., took his shirt off, and when Paul Rudd took his shirt off, and when every male character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe took their shirt off, which is a trope now. Chris Pratt, everybody. If you're going to be a Marvel male superhero, you will take your shirt off. Take your shirt off for the cameras. Make those ladies happy. And there is nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with sexy men and sexy women playing heroes in movies. But after about the 1 millionth tweet about the future is female, I thought, I want a little equality. I thought, and you know what? This might be kind of funny. And this sort of came out of, I saw an article about, I don't know how true this is, that Marvel is pivoting from, they looked at how successful Phase 4 was, and it wasn't particularly successful. Most of those movies lost money, with the exception of Spider-Man No Way Home. And the other ones that didn't lose money underperformed based on how well Marvel movies had done in the past. I thought, well, what's missing? What's happening? What was missing in Black Panther Wakanda Forever? T'Challa. T'Challa was missing. And for me, having seen that film, the film really came to life when I saw characters like M'Baku or Killmonger. When they were on screen, some different energy. Now, I'm not saying there should be fewer women in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Absolutely not. The more, the merrier. Marvel's got a big tent, but the male energy is missing. And it's part of the reason that people used to go see Marvel movies. I think it's part of the reason people are kind of falling off or less interested, because that balance isn't there. Was it a little too male skewed? Yeah, but so's the audience. The majority of the audience for these things are men. Okay. But I'm happy to welcome all female fans of Marvel. Come on in. Let's celebrate the things we love. Let's talk about how much we love it. So I put out this fairly innocuous tweet. All I said was make Marvel male again. And it's not exactly getting ratioed, but there's a lot of comments, nearly 4,000 likes on it. I don't know how to zoom this in.
You have to do it through Chrome. There's the zoom in feature. The 3 dots on the far right of the.
Wait, Alan, how do I find that? Where is it?
On the URL line, there's 3 dots all the way to the right.
I don't see it. 3 dots. How do I do this? Wait, I'm doing it wrong.
I wonder if you hit the plus button.
Hang on. Give me a second. I'll figure it out. I'm under a lot of pressure. Do you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I figured it out.
Oh, white people.
Some people do. The thing that's funny about this is obviously the people post. There's two people posting. People that have no idea that I have a sense of humor, and I meant this in jest, and I thought it was funny. But humor, I think humor that I enjoy always has a layer of truth. There's a layer of truth in this. It clearly triggered some people, and people saw it differently, maybe than what was intended. I don't know what else to say about that, but it is what it is. So it got a lot of attention, including, according to someone who just direct messaged me on Twitter, there's an article on the Mary Sue basically just ripping me to shreds, which is funny. Very funny. What can I say? But look, I don't think there's any. I stand by it. I'm not going to delete it. People were saying delete it. Here's the thing that I got upset about. I got upset after is people that I know, people that I have spent time with physically in person, I've drank with, been to their houses or hung out with them, that could have texted me or direct messaged me, calling me out, telling me to delete the tweet. How dare you? How dare you try to tell me how to express myself? I would never presume to tell you, Alan, to delete your tweet. I will tease you relentlessly about your thanking every single person who follows you. Follow Alan at mypalal, at mypalal on Twitter.
And I will personally thank you for doing that.
Actually, don't follow Alan at mypalal. Do not follow him. But look, I've always used humor, like in my family, always had a sense of humor. If anyone gets a little too full of themselves in my family, we all just kind of mock them and have fun. This is the attitude I have. I don't think I can even work with someone that doesn't have a sense of humor about themselves, which truthfully, which is why I think Alan and I have worked together for so many years now, is I think we both have a sense of humor. And go see Alan at National Comedy Theater in San Diego and see his improv show. I have been to the show. It's great. I'm working in plugs with serious points. Do you see what I'm saying here?
Yes, I know. I appreciate that very much.
Great. So in any case,
I do have that Mary Sue article, by the way.
Oh, you do? Do you want to share it? I don't think I want to read. You know what? I don't want to read it.
I mean, it's pretty basic to what she says. You know, that you believe that there will be no more men in the Marvel universe, and that's silly. That's very silly of you, Chris. And then it says, you're reportedly a director and writer, and I'm not exaggerating when I say I looked up what movies and TV show he's done and didn't recognize a single title on that list.
That's because she's
burn.
That's because she's 22 years old and getting paid nothing to write the article. Yeah. So I don't care about that article. Let Ryan Cannell do a video on that, or Yellow Flash. It's more in their wheelhouse to cover that stuff. We really don't cover that stuff all too often. But here's what upset me most about this Twitter was people I know saying things to me. You really find out who your friends are when something like this happens. And I was I just was like, I tried to be funny with some of them. Like Joe Layden, like quote tweeted me, and I just said, "You're my favorite Joe." I just tried to be funny. Lighten up, Francis. Probably one of the greatest lines spoken by Warren Oates in the movie Stripes. But lighten up, Francis, is what I would say to everybody on that. But one tweet at replying to me really upset me. And let me just say, this is where a line was crossed. Where a person I know, a person I've known since the early 2000s, who I worked with at G4 TV, part of the old G4 that is, said that John Schnepp would not agree with you on this. He invoked the name and a person who died in 2018, my friend John Schnepp, who I have known since the 90s. I met John Schnepp at the Chicago Underground Film Festival in 1993. And he and I have been friends. We're friends since then. Been to comic conventions together, driven to San Diego Comic-Con, been on countless panels, shared booth space, slept in hotel rooms, partied and hung out. And we've had a conversation that lasted 25 years of us. And to invoke and use the death of my friend, John Schnepp, who I knew much better than you, is disgusting. It is disgusting. How dare you do that? Who knows what John Schnepp would think about the current state of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? And whatever John thinks, I would respect that because I respect others' opinions who differ from mine. And who knows? And I miss this guy. He inspired me. He was the one that invited me on Collider Heroes, not anybody else. John Schnepp enjoyed having me on that show because he and I were just like, we know our nerd. We have different sort of, he is this nerd knowledge. I have that nerd knowledge. We nerded out about Jack Kirby's Machine Man. You should read the first issues that Jack Kirby illustrated. They're brilliant.
Yep.
He also invited on Robert Meyer Burnett. And when the three of us were on, it was magic. And when he was supposed to be on a panel, John was going to be on a panel called the Last Jedi Debate. And Dante James was on that panel. I was on the panel. J.C. Reifenberg, other people from Film Threat, Anthony Raybench. John Schnepp was supposed to be on the panel. I had his placard. Okay. And we dedicated the panel to him and learned as we were walking to the panel that John had passed away in the hospital. Okay. So the panel was tough to get through, but we did it. And there might be the audio. I think there's an audio version.
Yeah, it's on the YouTube channel.
It's on our YouTube channel, the audio of that panel. But what we did afterwards is I took the little placard of John Schnepp's name and I went to the Hyatt Hotel in the bar because that's where John always was. I could always count on John being there. John and Holly were there. We'd hang out, dude. And we would always do our nerd voice. I was checking out the thing here. Come on, you sweaties. Who doesn't love John Schnepp? So I went, there was an impromptu meetup there in tribute to John. And I put the little placard on the table and everyone was just sitting around. And I was just, of course, people were taking fucking selfies of themselves in front of it to prove that they were there, which is fucking weird because I'm just sort of like shell shocked, right? Like Comic-Con without John, like what? He was an inspiration to us all. And then some fucking asshole, we're far enough in the show, I can use the words fucking asshole. Some fucking asshole comes up to me from the YouTube space, and I will not name this person because it was the most disgusting thing. Some fucking asshole comes up to me, shows me on his phone that he's already designed a t-shirt in tribute to John. This is hours after all this happened. Hours. I'm back from the last Jedi debate. I'm shell shocked. I'm sitting at the Hyatt. I'm like, I'm kind of not, and I'm not in a party mood for sure. And this fucking asshole shows me on his phone a picture of the John Schnepp t-shirt he's going to sell in tribute. And I said, what are you doing? Like, what the fuck are you doing? And I asked, like, who's this? What you're monetizing him right now? There are really some fucking disgusting people here. And I'm tolerant of a lot of stuff. And I love a diversity of opinions and whatnot, but there are places that go too far for me. And this was one of those cases, and I'm angry about it. I have not named any of the people that I've referenced, and I won't. But for those people to call me out so they can look like a good guy on Twitter, I hope you're happy with yourselves. I hope you're happy. Hang on a sec. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Someone's at the door. Someone's at the door, I think. I'll be right back.
Yeah. No, I just don't understand how. I don't know. Why go that far? What good does that do? How does that change the discourse in any way? I think for me, just listening to all this and everything that's gone on, how is it that we've gotten to a point in society where we've just gotten too sensitive about the littlest things? Whatever happened to our backbone? The whole sticks and stones thing. I'll just throw out there, Asian kid in an all white neighborhood, heard things, but it's just so what? I went on. So, anytime someone has ever used an Asian slur against me, it was just like, I took the attitude of, I pity you and just move on. I'm never going to meet you again. So believe what you want to believe. But, what has happened to where we're teaching people, or where people are basically embracing victimhood and not being able to grow from it, and not being able to be the better person anymore. And your tweet, agree with it or not, how have we gotten to a point where that's the tweet of the day that's going to set you off, and that's going to ruin your day? It's like, do you have nothing better to do in life? Do you have no backbone anymore? And this has been my frustration for the last 6 years, 7 years. People just don't know how to buck up and move on.
Well, Alan, I don't believe that you were a little Asian kid. I think you were born fully grown, like a Pandora resident.
I was. You're not that far off. I was pretty tall as a child.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. Alan is very tall. You got to be over 6 foot, right?
6'1", yeah.
But look, I'll just leave it with there are things worth being upset about, and a tweet isn't one of them. There are things that are worth being upset about, and the death of my friend John Schnepp, I think about him every day because he really inspired me. He would invite me on a show and I wasn't really doing YouTube. He goes, just start, man. He was saying, like, just live. Don't even worry if the quality is good. You don't need a camera. You don't need a mic. Just start talking to people. And it was after he passed away. And I started doing more of that. I mean, I'd already, I don't know. I thought, well, there's people I watch and people I really enjoy. I don't know if I want to like throw my hat in the ring. And I think I need to because Film Threat certainly needs to be a voice, because I think Film Threat needs to be a voice, because that balance of between, we're talking about big Hollywood stuff. That's hence the name of the show, Hollywood on the Rocks. But also we talk about indie films too, that you need to know about, because the point is that you vote with your dollars. But you were talking about victimhood. The quote that always strikes me is, when you choose to be a victim, you become your own oppressor. And that is a choice. You choose to be a victim. I've had things happen in my life. I could have blamed other people. I could have gone off. I could have acted like a victim. But when you act like a victim, you're powerless. So don't be your own oppressor. Don't allow other people to control you. And I can't wait to read the Mary Sue article. I'll bet it's hilarious.
It is hilarious.
Good. Okay, great.
Well, the only thing I'd say about victimhood is, I think one reason people embrace victimhood is because it garners sympathy. And the longer you remain a victim, the more people who are going to come around, put their arm around you, and then walk away and live their lives. And you just can't. That's not the emotional energy you can live off of.